Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a massive, totally grounded shift in how we approach personal development. We're moving away from that exhausting web of fragmented digital tools and looking toward a unified, highly responsive kind of technology known as human readiness. So if you've ever felt like you're trying to manage your own life across a dozen different screens, well, you are in the exact right place. Let's get right into it.
So, let's kick things off with a pretty foundational question. Why on earth does our technology still force us to divide our highly interconnected lives into isolated little digital pieces? Think about it. When something is happening in your life right now, your first thought absolutely shouldn't be, okay, which app do I need to open? Support shouldn't feel like a scavenger hunt on your phone. It should really just begin with one simple question: what is happening right now?
Because, let's be real, life simply doesn't happen in neat, isolated categories. You don't experience your stress over in one app, your decisions in another, your relationship somewhere else, and your personal growth in that online course you bought 6 months ago and totally forgot about. Our fragmented digital life expects us to just chop our experiences into little data points. But it's all one life. What we really need is to simply open one space and have everything required to work through that exact moment existing together in one unified place.
That brings us to Section 1, the personal development gap. Learning versus living. This right here brilliantly illustrates what we call the moment of need gap. So often we rely on passive consumption, attending a course, reading a book, or meeting a coach after the fact. But then, Tuesday morning happens. You get an overwhelming message. You're about to say yes when you desperately want to say no. Or you're standing right outside a meeting room, sweating a bit, trying to figure out what to say. That Tuesday morning reality, that is the exact moment when a skill actually matters. But usually the tool you learned is nowhere to be found when you need it most.
Because here is the truth. Life absolutely does not wait for your next appointment. The future of personal development isn't about replacing people or professional care, not at all. It's about putting usable tools within immediate reach so you can learn at the exact moment of application. Imagine just reaching into your pocket and being able to say, hey, help me prepare for this conversation, or what's the next responsible thing I can do here? That's learning happening right now, not just someday.
Moving on to Section 2, connecting the whole person, a unified approach to human capacity.
Now, what's super interesting about this is how it fundamentally flips the way we traditionally categorize our daily struggles. We love to treat human problems as if they exist in little silos, like, oh, here's a work problem, or over there's an energy problem. But our reality is deeply interconnected. A few nights of poor sleep literally changes how you communicate. A difficult relationship can invisibly destroy your concentration at work. Fear loves to disguise itself as urgency, and a lack of clarity can look exactly like procrastination. Sometimes, the problem you think you need to solve isn't the actual problem at all. We really have to look at capacity across the whole person.
And you know what's wild about digital wellness right now? You constantly have to start over. You have to re-explain your goals, explain what happened last week, explain why this situation even matters to you. But by securely remembering your goals, your patterns, and your past decisions, a true support system bridges that memory gap. You don't have to start from zero and re-explain your whole history every single time. The fundamental question of the technology shifts from who are you to where were we. It allows you to actually continue your growth across time.
Which brings us to Section 3, learning at the moment, from content to capability.
So, the million-dollar question is, what do we actually do with the absolute mountain of information we have at our fingertips? Well, we definitely don't need another 5-hour course. We need micro-skills. These are small, highly focused pieces of human capability that you can learn in 3 minutes and use 10 minutes later in your real life. Instead of suffering through endless content, you learn one focused piece of capability. Maybe it's how to pause before answering, or how to prep just one clear boundary sentence. Then you return to the system to reflect on what happened when you actually tried it. The learning leaves the screen and enters your life. That is how information finally transforms into actual capability.
All right, Section 4, rethinking digital accountability. Beyond the broken streak.
Let's talk about accountability, because we need to move way beyond simply checking a box. Most apps just ask, did you do it? And if you didn't, you get guilt-tripped over a broken streak. But human behavior is incredibly complex. True accountability asks why you missed a goal. Was the step too large? Were you just exhausted? Did fears show up? Or actually, did you realize the goal wasn't even really yours to begin with? This continuous cycle of noticing, understanding, choosing, trying, and returning helps you adjust. Success isn't a perfect streak. It's becoming increasingly capable of understanding yourself and making intentional choices when your life inevitably changes.
And finally, Section 5, Readiness in your pocket. The system of maybe.
Imagine this. Instead of opening a folder full of disconnected apps, you open one single digital space. You don't have to navigate a complex menu. You just look at it, and you state, something happened. From there, the technology actually helps you determine what you genuinely need in that very second.
Because what you need is dynamic. Maybe it's just clarity you need before making your next move. Maybe it's a communication tool, to handle a highly stressful message without escalating the tension.
Or maybe you just need to regulate your pace. You feel that false sense of urgency creeping in, and you need to systematically slow things down before deciding on a massive new commitment.
Maybe there is a repeating pattern worth noticing. And because your journey can be remembered, with your permission of course, you literally never have to begin from zero every time.
Maybe you need help organizing your scattered thoughts. Or maybe you need a quick 5-minute practice to prepare for a difficult conversation. Actually, scratch that. Maybe you just need to return to something you committed to yesterday. The point is, the system molds to your immediate reality. It meets you exactly where you are.
And as you use a system like this, something truly incredible happens. Over time, you begin building a powerful historical record, not simply a list of everything that went wrong. We all have enough of that, but a record of what you learned, what actually worked, what changed, what you handled differently this time around, and most importantly, what you were actively becoming capable of. You're building tangible evidence of your own growth.
That is human readiness technology. It is absolutely not an app telling you how to live or pretending to be the authority over your life. It's a system helping you become more equipped to live your own life. You use the tool, you get the structured reflection, and then the system stays right there in your back pocket while you go out and actually live your real life.
So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. How are you currently tracking your own capacity and capability? Are your tools totally fractured or are they unified? Remember, true readiness isn't about escaping into an app. It's having a system right there in your back pocket, designed entirely to empower you to live your real interconnected life. Thanks so much for diving into this with me, and I hope this sparks some fresh ideas about how you support yourself moving forward.